got me high above, like the sun by the moon, he's a star. Baby, I'm lighting up, like a fool, it's true, it's true. He's making me blow my mind and I can't stand the thought of being without us. I'm being honest, y'all, I'm being honest. We just do what we do, ain't no joke about it.
Buenos días, mis amores. Aquí estamos con el cafecito de la mañana con Genesis Amor. Ahora en esta mañana es un poquito diferente. Tengo mis galletas, tengo mi cafecito. Cuando yo estuve creciendo, mi abuela, mi mamá siempre agarró sus galletas. Yo tengo graham crackers y ellos estuve con sus noticias, tomando su cafecito con sus galletas. So, translate. This morning it's going to be a bit different. I decided to get myself some graham crackers and some coffee. When I was growing up, I have always seen my mother and my grandmother do, have their little cookies on the side, watching the news, having their coffee, growing up and seeing. So then this morning coffee, I decided to do something different. Thank you to all the comments and the support and todo la amor. Oh my God, I feel it. I feel all the love in all the videos. I really appreciate the comments. I really appreciate the support, and I love that you guys are loving the videos. I love it. One of my viewers had asked me, where am I from? So ese es una historia. That is the story. Aquí estamos. Qué rico. Hoy es muy diferente. I put a little bit of almond milk. Qué riquísimo. And I must say, I'm obsessed with my nails. Ladies, I'm a nail fanatic. Okay, I was born in Carolina del Norte. I was born in North Carolina, the Cherry Point. Now, many of you know, Cherry Point is a military base. Y sí, mi padre fue de militar. My dad was in the Marines. He is actually from Chihuahua, de Mexico. Y mi mamá is de El Salvador. My mom is from El Salvador. My parents met in Los Angeles, okay? And then they got married, no sé qué, whatever. Then they went to Japan, and then from there stationed to North Carolina, and then there I was born. From there, my dad became a recruiter, and we went down all the way to South Texas, en el parte que se llama McAllen, Texas, RGV. Si tú sabes RGV, dale un comentario. Leave a comment below if you're from the RGV. Y crecí in the border de que se llama El Valle, y luego también en Reynosa. In my first 5 years, I actually was living in Reynosa con mi tía. I only went to the United States porque the school is actually free in the United States. As crazy as that sounds, school is actually free. I don't know if things have changed, but that's what I have last heard, which made sense. So everything else was in Reynosa, and yeah, my tia practically raised me from what I can recall. She is the one who took care of me. She is the one who embraced me. Mi mamá estuve siempre trabajando, y también she was going to school. Y mi papá siempre, he was always working. Always working. Then at the age of 5, that's when I remember just me being more into the United States, like not going as frequent to Reynosa. And I remember my dad telling me siempre que it was becoming dangerous, and it wasn't safe. Growing up, my parents, they were patriotic. Mi papá was, or yeah, I would say is. Mi mamá, she was always following my dad's footsteps. She always never went against my dad. She very submissive, very serving. Whatever my dad said goes. And that's how I was raised, okay? Mi mamá tiene una historia. My mom actually growing up, she was basically a single mom. My dad was always out working, providing for the family. Mi mama, she raised me. Now, the way she raised me was very similar to how she was being raised. And she actually grew up with the nuns back in El Salvador. She grew up in the war times. And very, very submissive. The women in her side of the family, they're not all think the same, but she grew up where women do not work. And so she was very, very sheltered, and that's how she raised me. I wasn't the weird kid. I was the only child, and a lot of people think that me being the only child, I was a brat. No, para nada. Para nada. I was, if anything, just lonely, okay? I would say my dogs are my siblings. Que la canción. En serio, I would say my dogs were my siblings. But I did grow up in some ways, with a Hispanic household. For instance, the pots and pans would be in the oven. We would use the overhead of the stove, like the light, as a night light. ¿Qué más? Siempre las noticias fue en español, Univision, Telemundo. Mi mamá siempre estuvo viendo novelas y de todo eso. Y muchas personas piensan que yo soy puertorriqueña o colombiana. I am not puertorriqueña o colombiana. I actually, because of where I was growing up, I actually say that I'm Mexican. Yo no sé nada del Salvador. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about the Salvadorian culture. And please leave on the comments below, I would love to embrace the culture. I would love to know more about that culture. I really would. I know a little bit about the music and I love the music, but my upbringing was nothing but mariachis, El Día de los Reyes, ¿qué más? Día de los, el pozole, menudo, I mean, just everything. But the ones who showed me that, the culture, was the people around me, not necessarily mis padres. Like I said, my dad was always working and my mom was doing her best to being technically a single mom and serving her husband and raising me, and she was going through her own thing. Now, the only thing that I wish would happen, or wish could have happened, but I understand them, was when I would they always spoke to me in Spanish, but they never forced me to respond. And I wish they would have had done that. But later on, I will tell you how I became bilingual, because I wasn't always bilingual. I understood it, but I wasn't able to speak it. I was very much by myself. I grew up in a neighborhood where it was nothing but old people, like elderly. I remember Miss Garza. I would go over across the street and Miss Garza would always spoil me with candy, playing loteria, de todo. I remember her like doing the tortillas, homemade tortillas, tamales, todo eso. Pero there was no kids. But when I went to school, oh my God, I was all over the place. I had all kinds of friends. I remember the talent shows, no sé qué, no sé cuánto. I was the one that just didn't stop talking. So anyways, life was very, very, very tricky. Simply because my dad was a border patrol at that time. So my mom sheltered me very, very much. Being the only child, and let alone, I did not want to disappoint my parents. I was way too focused on pleasing them and honoring them, and I really, really lost sight on what made me happy and what I wanted to do in life. And being a daughter of a border patrol was extremely tough, because with my dad always wanting to do right and to do right, it just caused a lot of tension. We were going in the times where the cartels was heavy, the narcos was heavy. My dad was not one of those crooked cops, and so it became very, very dangerous. So there's a little bit about my life. Stay tuned para saber cómo fue mi vida para una niña que que su padre fue un border patrol. Stay tuned to know how my life was with having a father who was border patrol. And also stay tuned on how I broke that chain on finding self-identity, and depression and fighting anxiety. Because when you really want to make someone else proud, you lose yourself. And I remember driving and asking myself, do you have any idea what you like and what you don't like? And I broke because I had no idea. I was actually pretty excited that someone had asked me, where am I from? Many people, and I'll close it with this, many people think que yo soy algo más de El Salvador or de Mexico. Many people think that I'm something else other than. I find it funny because I don't know how or why or what, but when people say, oh, you sound like Puerto Riqueña or you sound Colombiana, that's because of the constant novelas that I'm watching. On my free time, I watch novelas. I am right now with Cincenos No Hay Paraíso. Mujeres, chicas, if you have any novelas that you're watching, leave it on the comments below, because I'm going through like Telemundo or Netflix, and I don't know what's my next novela to watch when I finish the final de Cincenos No Hay Paraíso. So leave in the comments below. What else can I say? Es todo. I know not many people that see that I'm the Mexican in me, y tampoco el salvadoreña. Maybe a little bit. Y luego también, I'm sorry, it's taking a little bit long, but I'm also poquito Italiana. I'm a little bit of Italian. But I don't know anything about that side either. I didn't know really about my grandfather until it was about 2 years ago, when I started asking questions. Mwah. Cuídese. And you know what? Because I feel like I'm in the spirit of mi abuela and mi mamá, que Dios te bendiga. Ciao.
You make me feel like the type of fire that burns from within, shining like I'm made of gold. I shine, it's true. He's making me jump from high ground, keeps catching me every time I fall. He got me safe and sound.